Hello YouTube, my name is Deeks and welcome to episode number 1 of my van build series. So I was planning to actually have the van here today and give you a little tour, but because of a few delays, I don't even have a van yet. So instead today I'll go over 4 points to consider if you are planning on buying a van, and then some problems that I'm currently already facing, and then I'll also tell you a little bit about myself and my vision for the series. In the next episode you'll see me actually starting work on the van. This one's going to just be a little bit more talking. If you want to subscribe for the next videos to get notifications, do that now. Otherwise stay tuned for a little bit of thought-provoking conversation. So some of my challenges so far. Number 1, deciding on a van. So I spent about 3 weeks looking at a computer screen trying to decide what to purchase. I looked at semi-converted vans, second-hand ambulances, old vans, new vans, left-hand drives, medium wheelbases, long wheelbases. You get the picture. It's so difficult as there are just so many options, and in the end I realized you're just going to have to compromise on a few things. You can't have everything. I finally found a nice clean second-hand Citroen Relay long wheelbase with an extra high roof for £11,000 with 50,000 miles on the clock. This seemed like a good sort of middle ground for me. A new panel van of that size will cost you about 20 grand, which is a little bit steep. And although you can get much cheaper second-hand vans, you really need to be careful about the mileage, what they've been used for before, so I just kind of wanted to stay away from high mileage vans. This size van will allow me space for a fixed bed, shower, kitchen and a workspace, as I plan to actually spend a lot of time living and working in it. Heating and a shower are essential because I'm going to spend a lot of time surfing, and once you get out the water you just want to be nice and toasty. And obviously make sure you buy from a reputable person or dealer. I had a look at going to like auction houses where you can get vans for absolute peanuts, but the problem is you don't know their history. You can just see basic information about the van, you don't know what problems might be lurking, so it's just a bit too risky. For me, I went to a dealer, I looked them up online, they seem to have a good reputation. I went and looked at the van and I was comfortable with that choice. So if you're planning on buying a van, I would suggest to ask yourself a few questions before you purchase one. So number 1, obviously, what's your budget? Number 2, what will you use the van for? Are you going to be living in it permanently, or are you just going to be using it for sort of weekend trips? Number 3, what amenities are you trying to fit inside the van? Be realistic about what you need and what you want. Number 4, what are you happy to compromise on? When I put all this to paper, it was clear that I needed a relatively large van for all my needs. I had to compromise on the fact that it will not be as maneuverable as a little van, which I'm a little bit concerned about, and also the mileage was really important for me. I needed a low mileage van just for that sort of peace of mind, and I was happy to pay a little bit more to get lower mileage. So I decided to either go for a Citroen Relay, a Fiat Ducato or a Peugeot Boxer. Basically all the same van, it's the right size for my needs, and also for the future you could get spare parts everywhere, all over Europe where I'm planning to be going. Right, so hurdle number 2, paperwork and logistics. So this has been doing my absolute head in, but my situation is a little bit complicated because I have been a nomad for the last 10 years. I've been working at sea, I'm not a resident anywhere, I'm not in a system anywhere, and trying to get the paperwork done has been really challenging for me. First of all, make sure that you can get your van insured. A lot of companies won't insure converted vans at all, and many didn't want to insure me because I have a South African driving license, because I'm a German citizen, but I'm in the UK, we've got Brexit going on, everything's incredibly complicated, nobody has answers. So just make sure that with your nationality, where you are, with the local regulations, that you're actually allowed to insure and drive the van. Touching on to that, number 3, the DVLA in the UK. It seems that they are making it harder and harder for people to convert vans and then register them as motorhomes. So just look into your current regulations in your country, in your area, and make sure that you are aware of what the regulations are. It's going to affect your build and your planning, how many windows you have to have, how many doors you have to have. There's loads of stupid new regulations. The last thing you want is to do a beautiful job, spend loads of money, and then they tell you, no, you can't register the thing. Just look into that so you don't get a nasty surprise later on. And then number 4, is van life for you? So I know van life has this reputation of being a great way to save money, you don't have to pay rent, and that is true, but you also need to realize that initially it does take a bit of money to invest, to do it properly. It takes time. You need somewhere to work on the van, you need tools, you need time to actually do it. So you do need a little bit of money to put into it initially to do it properly. If you don't have that, then it's going to be a little bit of a problem. You're going to get a van that's not very good. It's going to give you problems later down the line. You need to think it's always going to cost you money as well. Fuel and accidents and insurances. Vans are very vulnerable. There can be accidents, people can break in, can't just go and park everywhere. So you just need to be aware that it's not just, you know, you buy your van and then it's happily ever after. It's maybe not for everybody. You're going to be in challenging situations, and yeah, just be realistic. Think about the pros, think about the cons, and decide if it is for you. For me, 100%, I'm sold on the idea. I've worked at sea for a long time. I'm used to living in small confined spaces. I'm very happy to be by myself, happy to be on the road, and I'm actually currently going through a career change. I'm trying to focus more on my photography, my filmmaking, and this is going to be like a mobile office for me. So it's just absolutely perfect, and I'm really looking forward to waking up every day, looking at either the sea or the mountains, surfing more, which I haven't been able to do very much in the last 10 years. So decide if it's for you, be realistic, and if you want to go for it, go for it. So what to expect from future episodes. The first piece of the puzzle actually arrived today. My ladder has arrived, but no van yet. In the next episode, I'm going to be installing the ladder. I've got a 7-run ladder because the van's like extra high. We're going to have solar panels on the roof, so I need to get up there. I need to do quite a bit of work up top. I'm also going to be installing a reversing camera. I think it's pretty essential because I'm going to struggle to drive that thing, and it's going to take a bit of practice. The plan is to film every single job, show you exactly what I do step by step, show you what products I've used, gives you reviews of the items I've purchased, where I've gotten them from. I'll tell you if they're good or if they're bad, and it's supposed to be kind of a learning curve for me, something to document my journey just for myself, but hopefully also something that other people can look at, follow and learn from, if not only just learning from my mistakes, what not to do. So this is the first time I'm doing something like this. I've never done projects to this extent by myself before. Basically, there's 3 reasons why I decided to convert the thing myself. Cost, going to save a bit of money. Number 2, to get the exact design that I want for my needs. And number 3, bragging rights. I think it's just kind of cool to be able to say, like, yeah, I did that myself. I'm going to need a little bit of help with electrics and stuff like that. I'm not an expert by any means in that regard, but I think most of it I'll be able to manage by myself. So the other mission is to inspire you guys to go after your dreams and go after whatever you want to do in life. If it's a van build, if it's something else, I feel like you only have one life, and if you want to do something, you should go and just do it, you know, regardless of what anybody thinks. For me, I had a great career. I was working at sea for 10 years, the last 5 as a navigational officer, and it was really, really hard to walk away from that, and scary. It's all I've ever done, it's all I've ever known. It was a safety net, but I was just really unhappy and unsatisfied. It wasn't for me. I realized that after 10 years. So I was tired for my career to, you know, waiting for it to fulfill me, which it wasn't doing, and I was tired of waiting for someone to come into my life, a partner to do something like this with me, and I just said, you know, like, I'm going to do it myself. This is something I've always wanted to do, and I want to pursue my passion and my dream of being a photographer, of surfing more, of traveling more, of, you know, living my life on my terms. So I'm doing it. I've been lucky to have saved enough money from the last 10 years of living at sea to take some time out now to focus on this, to work on the van and to work on starting my own business, Sherma Shoots. So I realized that not everybody has that privilege of time and a bit of money saved in the bank to do that. But everybody's situation is different, and if you really want to do something, you just need to bite the bullet and you need to change a few things. You know, I definitely walked away from something stable, good money, and yeah, like I had to sacrifice a lot to be here as well. So, you know, how much do you want it? If you want it, go for it, do it. So the van is going to be a complete off-grid stealth camper, hopefully. I'm going to have solar panels, I'm going to have a shower, I'm going to have a fixed bed, and it's going to be designed to be the ultimate sort of surfmobile and also to double as a workspace and an office for me. So the plan is to travel around Europe, all the coasts as far as I can go, and go to surf camps, do videos for them, for their clients, focus on my photography, do some art, some souvenirs, some postcards, that sort of thing, all on the road. I'm gonna have an online business and yeah, continue with YouTube as well, maybe if it goes well, and that's kind of the dream. So it is now October 2019, and I hope that by March 2020, before my 30th birthday, that I'm going to be parked with my van at some beach somewhere, just coming in from a surf, and that my business, that the van will be done, that the business will be up, and that's the dream at the moment. So subscribe if you want to follow my journey, and like I said, today was a lot of blah blah. Next episode is going to be a lot more interesting, a lot more visual, so if you're keen to follow me, then subscribe, and yeah, thank you very much for joining me on this new chapter and the new beginning.